political and human level. It's been an extraordinary and, I imagine, stressful week for you, culminating today in an Islamabad court extending a no-arrest bail for 7 more days. So, firstly, how are you?
Well, in some ways, it's the best of times. And some ways, it's the worst of times. Why is it the best of times? Because since I left office 4 months back, never has there been such a public response for any political party as it is for my party today. So in that sense, you know, it's for us, for a political person who's struggled for 26 years to raise awareness amongst the public, I think it is one of the best times for us. For my party, for me, it's very satisfying to see a politically aware public understanding issues, coming out on streets by themselves to stand up for their rights. On the other hand, it's a bad time in Pakistan because we are descending into fascism. We have a government which has no credibility amongst the people. We call it an imported government. The economy has tanked. Inflation has gone through the roof. It has lost all credibility. And so it is compensating by the lack of credibility, by imposing this draconian measures on us. They're clamping down on the media. They're clamping down against journalists. They've instituted various cases against me. One of them is a terrorism case, which is actually a joke. So it's bad in a way that the government is panicking. They're watching us grow in popularity. We swept the by-elections in the biggest province in Punjab. There were the 2 by-elections which we swept. So they're a bit scared, and that's why they're clamping down.
Since your speech on Saturday, where the opposition is alleging that you threatened the police and members of the judiciary, they have essentially been labelling you a terrorist. On terrorism charges is what you would be standing on. As someone who led the country just months ago, what do you feel when you hear that allegation against you?
Well, for your viewers, let me put it in context. The chief of my staff, of my office, he was picked up. He made a remark on television which was misconstrued as if he's trying to stir mutiny in the army. But it's debatable. He still hasn't got a chance to clarify what he said. He was actually talking about rule of law. They picked him up, they abducted him. 2 days, they kept him and tortured him. They sexually tortured him. So what happened was that this report is now in the High Court of the torture of my aide, which is Shahbaz Gill. And so I made 2 remarks. I said we will not spare those people who are responsible, i.e. the police chief and his second in command. We said we would take legal action against them. And then there was this magistrate who, knowing that he was tortured, still sent him back to the police. So we said we would take legal action against both the magistrate and the police. Now, this does not constitute terrorism. But they're so desperate, they have made this into a terrorism case. They banned my live coverage on screen. And they're trying to ban me from politics because there's a case of contempt against me. So it is what I feel is desperation, because this does not constitute terrorism in any sense of the word. You asking to take legal action against those officials who allowed this torture which is banned in Pakistan, this does not mean that you're a terrorist. So, but it's their desperation. They are petrified that if elections take place, we will sweep the elections.